What's up, y'all? What's good? It's Ahmed. Welcome to Ahmed's Voice. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Again, for anything that I do, whether it's shorts, reels, TikTok, long form podcasts, or writing, please follow me at ahmedsvoice.com or ahmedsvoice.substack.com or anywhere on social media at Ahmed's Voice. It would be greatly appreciated. Again, my name is Ahmed. Welcome. And this episode, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the latest release from DJ Premier and Nas, Light Years. In my opinion, spectacular album. Great showing by the legends. Pretty much everything that I expected to hear from DJ Premier and Nas. One feature with AZ, which is spectacular. Um, I really do love this album. I think it's definitely a shout out, a communal shout out to the hip hop culture, especially those who are, actually like involved. Like I'll get into a little bit, but those who were involved, I'm saying like the living elements of hip hop, right? Like that's what this album feels like. It was for the living elements of hip hop, and y'all know what I'm talking about if you know what the five elements of hip hop are. But I just think a very, very spectacular album. Part of a series from Mass Appeal, which of course Nas is part owner. The Legend Has It series. So in 2025, we saw some spectacular albums, right? And the Nas DJ Premier Light Years was basically the culmination of that project. And the Legends Have It project albums we all heard this year from Slick Rick, dope. Raekwon, dope. Ghostface Killer, dope. There's a Mobb Deep album, dope. If you've been following me on TikTok or Instagram, you've heard me talk about the De La Soul album, Cabin in the Sky, that just dropped, dope. Still got that in rotation. An album from Big L, the late great Big L. And of course, again, we end up with Nas and DJ Premier Light Years. Officially, their tag was to honor hip hop icons who took music from NYC to the world, preserving their legacy. And I think that's an apt title. Again, great albums all around. This album, Light Years, uh, is just really good. There's no skips for me. Seriously, like if I'm going down like Life is Real, get ready. This is the track list. New York State of Mind, Part 3, Welcome to the Underground, Madman, Pause Tapes, Writers, Sons, Young Kings, It's Time, Nasty, Nasty, Esco, Nasir, My Story, Your Story. That is the only feature on here with AZ, Bouquet to the Ladies, Junkie, Shine Together, Third Childhood. It's Time is dope, like dope sample of the Steve Miller Band. But just really a solid album. I just want to talk about a couple tracks that really jumped out at me. Again, as a West Coast kid, you know, the early years, golden age of hip hop, I was a teenager. So I was part of that group that was out there literally breakdancing, trying to pop lock, DJ, all that good type of stuff. My dad, when he was working at the Spreckles Theater at the time, would bring home rolls of linoleum. We'd actually carry those around. Yeah, like we really did all that, man. Like we was really out there trying to break and pop lock and have battles and crews. So, that was definitely part of that culture that spread. And like this album is not in a campy way or a nostalgic way going back to that. It's just in an honest, like production shout out lyrical way to just make you remember, yeah, um this is what was happening. um Pause Tapes, I love the track Pause Tapes. Again, there's no skips on here. I love the track Pause Tapes because Pause Tapes takes you when we're like all we did, right? When we had cassettes and all of us were trying to be mix masters with the cassette. So we would record something we heard on the radio or something. We got the dual cassette or two radios and we record and pause and record and pause, record, pause, replay, loop, loop. Like that's how we were trying to make our mixtapes, right? Writers, dope track, just about the graffiti elements and everything. Um, I really love Sons, Young Kings. Like I think Nas on that album with Primo's beat, on that song, um, just really gives a well-deserved shout out to the young men who are out there. The young men and the people raising them, the sons, the moms that are really raising the young men and celebrating them. So I think that was a very important track. The shout out to the ladies, Bouquet. Look, this album is just dope. This is just dope. It's a dope album. It's dope production. Again, in a year where we've coming off of what I would say was a sensationalism of the Drake Kendrick battle and watching hip hop fall out of the top 40 for the first time in 35 years. Um, I just think we've seen a lot of the old guard step up and really flex these skills, right? Like not even all that I mentioned before with the 11 Legends has it initiative, but even if you're looking at the clips, you know what I'm saying, what they dropped earlier this year for looking, towards last year with the Common Pete Rock project, Lupe Fiasco, um, Rhapsody gave us something super dope. Just like, yeah, I haven't even talked about Rhapsody. Rhapsody gave us a super dope project just a while ago, not that long ago. The Alchemist has been dropping a lot of stuff. So I think we're just in a good place with hip hop, and it's great to see again the flex, right? That this is not a young man's game. This is a skill game. As you get older, you should become more expressive and more articulate. And I think that that's a great thing to see. Again, I spoke about the album, how like I felt like it was a love letter, not love. I don't want to say that because it's not that, because that goes to the cliche that we hear in the mainstream a lot, right? There's a vibration here. There's a resonating with those who were really in the hip hop generation when hip hop was coming of age, right? Like there's a real resonation on that level. I'm thinking 1985, I was 13, right? So I'm thinking like right then when things were popping, like my sister took me to the Fresh Festival at the San Diego Sports Arena, the LA Dream Team at SeaWorld. You know what I mean? Like there was so much happening. Like I said, we were breaking and dancing. I think this album just resonates with that. I think a good way to see that illustrated was in this interview that DJ Premier and Nas did with GQ. It's a great interview. Again, if you're watching this or listening to this, please head to the description section on my Substack, mymedsvoice.substack.com, or on the YouTube page or wherever. Get to the description page and there are links to the GQ interview, also links to the Legend Has It page at Mass Appeal. But anyway, very great interview. I think you guys should read it. Two of the questions I just want to share that jumped out to me, or one question and one answer from Nas, one answer from DJ Premier. One question that the interviewer asked. So thematically, this album has its eye on the historical record, on the history of rap and why it still matters. How did you settle on that focus of the album? Nas's answer, I think it's a reflection of the conversations that me and Premier have in the studio, outside the studio. It's always like, did you see this Run DMC video? Remember that jacket? Remember that rhyme? Remember that album cover and the artwork and the graffiti on it? Do you remember the first time? Were you always looking back and talking about the things we liked coming up, talking about our lives and how we've embraced the music throughout our lives? I think it bled into the songs. I think it was like that because it's who we are naturally. We're junkies. And then to keep answering that question, DJ Premier, when we did the tribute to Jam Master Jay at the BET Awards, DMC gave us the hats, the Stetson hats, and said, y'all got to wear these when you go on stage. Then I wear that hat on so many different occasions. It just puts me in the right frame of mind of what the sound of this should be like, because we represent the purest form. This is the part that I really dig. A lot of people don't represent the purest form. We represent the breakers, the MCs, the DJs, and the writers. So the fact that we rep that and we've never changed from that, we're good. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. There's a resonation there of people who were around when the breaking was happening, when the graffiti was happening, when everybody was trying to learn it, when everybody was trying to pick up the skills, when the ciphers were happening, right? Before the big payouts and before it was what it is now. Like when we were breakdancing, when we were carrying boom boxes, and we were all staying fresh and dope and wearing our chains and armor down, like that time, right? That's what he's talking about. It resonates, and it resonates in a great way. It's a spectacular, spectacular album. I really suggest you listen to it. Again, I'm recording this on the 13th. Saturday. It's just dropped yesterday. So, but this thing is on fire. I have already seen a couple of people online saying that this is not, saying that this is not up to Premiere standards when it comes to beats. I don't understand that. Even if that is the case, you're comparing him against himself, comparing him against himself. But again, I think if you read a GQ article, I think you'll get a better understanding that Nas and Premiere were on the same boat with this. Like they were on the same they were on the same wagon. So again, just my thoughts initially on this album. Maybe I'll come back to it. Like I said, it's only been out a day. Very impressive. What I expected. Nas, DJ Premier, Lightyear, streaming now. Again, links to the GQ interview I was quoting and some other things in the description of this video. My name is Ahmed. This has been Ahmed's Voice. Follow me on ahmedsvoice.com, ahmedsvoice.substack.com, or Ahmed's Voice on social media. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Peace.